live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ask Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada, here at the Adafruit factory in downtown Manhattan, and with me is Mr. Lady Ada on camera control.
You gotta get rid of an extra camera. I feel like our cameras have cameras.
There's too many cameras. That's okay. You can see who I am right now.
Yeah.
And we've got an exciting show for you tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We had a successful show and tell, so we're rocking on.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on?
Right. On tonight's show, the code is toggle. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, except for gift certificates and software and AdaBox subscriptions. That's how it is.
Okay, we have to add that to the list. All right.
Ooh. It's true.
Okay.
Okay. Show and tell. People around the world showing and sharing their projects. We'll talk about that. Back to Mailbag's going to stop by. Help wanted. Jobs from the Adafruit job board and beyond. We might start pulling in other ones. Time travel. Look back in the world of hackers, makers, artists, engineers, and something that happened a long time ago, maybe. In New York, I have a couple of videos from Adafruit's factory. This is Nimbus, the friendly cloud entity. We'll be talking about some IoT stuff. 3D printing, Raspberry Pi projects and news, new products. We're going to answer your question. We'll have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
Yay! Okay. Exciting times.
Yeah.
A lot going on. A lot going on behind the scenes.
That's
a lot
right.
going on in front of the scenes.
That's right. So we are a independent company. We don't have venture capital or loans. We are supported by you, the viewer. So you can use this discount code on checkout and get you 10% off in the Adafruit store. And that's what keeps this thing going.
Yeah. That's how you support us. That's it.
That's it.
Although we like nice letters too. The letters are very nice.
Yeah, emails to the team, support@adafruit.com is great because we can read them in front of our weekly all-company meeting called State of the Fruit. So we like those too. Next up, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time is Show and Tell, and 8 p.m. is Ask an Engineer, which you're watching now.
Yay, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're doing this thing.
Hangouts changed the way they did stuff. We figured out how to do it pretty much the same way it was before, even better.
We fake it.
Yeah, fake it till you make it. And
works though.
check out youtube.com/Adafruit and you'll see the show and tell video that just came in. A couple quick things. We have $200 or more UPS ground. Shipping has been going on for a while and it's still going on. And then if you're in New York, we have before 11 a.m., there is same day delivery in certain parts of Manhattan. Show and tell, Lady Ada.
Okay.
People around the world showing and sharing their projects. What was on the show this week?
Okay, we actually had a lot of people.
Yeah,
this was we were, it's not that we didn't think it was going to work out, but it was a little bit of an experiment.
Everything's going to be okay.
Everything's going to be okay. We start off with Phil B. He demoed an adorable MAME mini cabinet that he made. He's working on another project, and I guess he just was like inspired, so he spent a few hours and built this cabinet, and we have a little video of it too. It is the smallest that we know of working main cabinet.
Yeah, we'll show that shortly.
Very shortly. And it is very short. You're right. It's quite short. Noah and Pedro have this week's 3D printed project. It's a yo-yo, and they're also working on Halloween projects. So that's rocking out. They're going to be doing a lot more Halloween-based and costume projects, getting ready for, I guess, what I consider like the maker holiday. Everybody loves making costumes.
Yeah, there's one holiday that a lot of people come together and make things. Mm-hmm. It's not always the Hallmark holidays, as they say, where it's a lot of purchasing. It's more about making, and Halloween seems to be one of those, more so as cosplay and costuming, and I guess fantasy materials from like Harry Potter to Game of Thrones, everything. Everything kind of just came together. Fandom, all of it.
Okay, so that's gonna be cool. So watch for that, and of course send in comments if you on their videos and stuff if you have ideas for cool stuff they should be hacking on for Halloween. Scott S., who recently has joined on this Adafruit adventure, is working with us to port MicroPython to the AtSamD processor. He's porting it to the Feather M0, which is a processor which is supported by Arduino. It's the Arduino Zero, but adding MicroPython is very interesting because it allows us to add sensors and learning about microcontrollers without the need for an IDE or compiler. So it's very neat because the interpretation happens on chip. And we're also working with the MicroPython team to help normalize their I2C and SPI and other hardware interfaces. There's a lot of variation between boards, and we want to help get it so everyone has the same syntax, the same commands, and that'll just make it easy for more boards to add MicroPython support, for more people to add sensors and libraries to make it universal. I think that's the power of Arduino is, wire library, SPI library was the same on all platforms and made it easy to add support. So we're going to do that. And he showed a demo on a Chromebook, which is one other cool thing. You can use MicroPython to program on a Chromebook because you don't need a compiler. Richard, he works with a makerspace, and they have a lot of tools, laser cutters and water jets and band saws and all that good stuff. And they wanted to add a way to track who is using the machines, make sure that they're trained on using the machines, and also keep track of maintenance scheduling for how many hours it's been used. So we used a particle photon with an NFC breakout to add a little tag for everybody. Everyone gets a little card, and when they insert the card into the slot for that machine, it activates if they have access and also logs how much time they used it. And he's also going to be showing off some stuff at Maker Faire, his local Maker Faire. So we made a really cool demo board, like a cheese board. You know what I mean? That's what it looked like. When you go to the restaurant and they're like, here's a selection of meats and cheeses and olives and stuff. I don't usually get that, but I've seen it. So it's like all the microcontrollers on this wooden breadboard, like a wooden board, and it's like etched with the names of all of them. So Arduinos and microcontrollers and IoT boards and microcomputers and Raspberry Pis and Digisparks and trinkets and all that stuff. So that's kind of cool and very handy. So you can see and compare.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to say, oh, a trinket's small, but how small? Is it smaller than a Raspberry Pi? Raspberry Pi is pretty small, but when you see them next to each other, you can appreciate the size differences. Aiden is also working on an RFID-based access system for schools for the lab at his school for students. So maybe him and Richard can share tips and tricks. And he's also working on making 3D printed bouncy things by using lattice infills instead of grid infills. Because usually when you do infills on a 3D printer nowadays, it just gives you a flat grid. It's just like a honeycomb. But it isn't a three-dimensional honeycomb. It's like 2D and then just extruded up. So what's neat is he is actually working with a lattice internal fill, which is more crystalline. And so it doesn't have a clear direction, which means that when you make something like a sphere, it's squishy on all sides. It isn't like hard on one side and soft on the other. It's, you know what I mean? Because normally it would be, because the lengthwise, it would be very hard. So he said it was very bouncy, and he made this bouncy ball, and he bounced it. It was bouncy.
What we discovered is there might not be a single word for the bounciness of something. It might be a combination of different words. So we think there's an opportunity to quantify in one word what the bounciness of something is.
Yeah. Maybe if you drop it, how far up it
What's that
bounces
called?
back up. I don't know.
We just had J's
Anti-gravity?
we just had J's for Jules, and the jewel was named after the person who was really pushing for it.
Yeah.
But maybe there's another unit measure.
Okay. Could be.
Yeah.
He's gonna work on it. Lon gave us an update on his space gun, which is a project he's working on. It's a really cool cosplay prop. It has a lot of stuff going on. There's sensing and speakers and audio effects and the microcontrollers. And he's doing all sorts of sensing and stuff, and showed a speaker update. So he put 2 mono speakers that are in phase. So he made it quite loud. It's extremely loud for this little gun. It really fills the room. So that's kind of cool, because it makes, I think it makes it more realistic, because you expect a phaser gun to be extremely loud. And so that's what he's up to, and he's doing a lot of Twitch streaming, so check those out. And Roberto also built a yo-yo, but he actually updated his yo-yo to use the accelerometer on a circuit playground to make different tones and beeps depending on how fast and which direction it's spinning. So it's he said it was like the picture pages pen, but a yo-yo. And he also made an LED scrolling badge. And then Philip M. came in with a mini rover that uses a Raspberry Pi, has an ultrasonic sensor, and does room mapping. It does a random walk, and it walks around the room, and it uses the ultrasonic sensor to map the room, and then it gets that data back into data processing software called R, which I always thought was very They couldn't think of a better name. R, really? R. Like the letter R. Like, think of how hard that would be to Google. Like, they didn't care. They just didn't care. And so he uses that to map the room.
It's like if you get an email address that spells out something like the number one, but the email address is the number one.
Yeah.
Like it's not possible.
I remember this band in high school, the.
Yeah.
All right, like
That might be easier to find.
Maybe.
Than R.
At the time, it was very difficult to Google.
Yeah.
You want to try Googling for the?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on, people. We're gonna do some science here. Actually, that worked out really well.
It's a band. They're still around.
All right.
They're an English musical group that have been active in various forms since 1979.
Okay, so I guess you can.
Hey, Sinead O'Connor's in it.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see what comes up with R.
No, it does say R, the Project for Statistical Computing.
So
okay, so you know what?
And
maybe...
Sinead O'Connor's in this band too.
I know.
She's in R.
I know.
Wait a second.
She loves statistical.
I'm in the wrong search engine. Sorry.
Oh yeah, this is Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, it was Sinead O'Connor's search engine. Look, that's what I made.
I guess you guys weren't expecting that on the show and tell.
All the results of Sinead O'Connor.
Everybody who appears on the show and tell gets an awesome show and tell sticker.
They do.
One day we'll have Sinead O'Connor on.
She has to make a project.
She will.
Besides a programming language called R. Okay, it's all part of the Adafruit Live series. We had some Desk of Lady Ada this week. I don't know if y'all were watching them, but we did.
It was epic.
Yeah, and one of the things that we had was the Ada box unboxing. So we did the live unboxing at 10 p.m. on Saturday night, and that's our. Can you hand me the Ada box? That's
I will hand you the Ada box.
Yeah,
here it is.
this is our subscription service. The first round shipped. You could still, I think, get starting with round 2 right now. I think there's a few subscription slots left for this round. So if you haven't, the discount code doesn't work on subscriptions. But here's a little overview of AdaBox and what it is, and then I'll show a couple other things. So this, in case you're wondering what it is, this is it. Okay, so that's AdaBox, and then have our website and more that goes into all of the details that you need to know, because we get lots of questions, so we have lots of answers, and that's on adafruit.com/AdaBox. And then we did, this is just the whole video in like, a minute. So this is the unboxing. So we go through each part, and you opened it up live, you went through all the different things it came with, and then later on, you did some projects with it.
Yeah, some light demos to show it off. And we'll have tutorials and projects that come out for Feather. So, as you have it, it isn't like a one-time thing. That there will be like content. And we always have like Feather projects coming out. So that's definitely cool to see. And
it's mostly meant for beginners. And this is their first step into electronics, but
it's all in one. It's completely self-contained.
Yeah.
You do not need any tools. You don't need any extra.
You don't have to solder anything.
Soldering. You don't need any paid software or anything. It's
so a lot of parents made the AdaBox with their kids live as you did the unboxing. So, anyways, that's what we got going on. On Sunday, Joey Ito, one of I don't know many people for like 20 years in the world.
He's been around.
Yeah, we've known each other for a long time.
He's got a logo.
Yeah, and he came by, and if you go to like his LinkedIn, because I have to check it once in a while, so it just goes on and on and on and on. It doesn't end. It's like one of the biggest web pages in the world of all the boards and things that he's been up to. So he was the CEO of Creative Commons. Right now he's directing the MIT Media Lab, and just like all sorts of different
Is that about a little bit?
Yeah, on the investor, and I think also on the board. Anyways, so we talked about maker businesses and more. And if you want, go and watch it. And then the last 5 minutes is when Joey and myself and Lady Ada, it was the day I met you, we did an interview with him. So I had said, oh, we should like do it.
This is still scrolling.
Yeah, it's still going. And that was the first time we physically met. We were in South by Southwest. Mm-hmm. So it was an interview with you 10 years ago. And we were talking about it, making like open source hardware companies. Neat. Okay. Also.
Oh, that's right. He was a Twitter. He's on the Twitter board, I think.
This is still going.
I love it. This guy's done everything.
There's like 50 more minutes of the scroll. Okay. Anyways.
Oh, no, you're right. It is actually 30 seconds more.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Kidding. Yeah. So Circuit Playground, we have a quick video from John Park. He is doing some Conductive ink stuff, so I'm going to play it.
Okay, take it away.
Hey, it's John Park for Adafruit. I've got a quick tip for you. This is a Conductive ink project I'm working on, and I've got a bigger project coming up that's going to be really rad using lots of Conductive ink. Now, I was a little disappointed in my freehand painting of the ink, but I am happy with the way it works. You can see this light blinking here as I touch a capacitive pad that's been drawn out with the paint. But I figured I could do one better by creating some stencils. So let's take a look at using stencils to create better conductive ink patterns. I'm using 7mm Mylar, which is typically used for creating stencils. And I created a pattern that would match the spacing of the pads on this Circuit Playground board, so that when it lays flat on the ink, I can have conductive traces. Now you could go ahead and create a pattern like this with a regular piece of printer paper and then trace it and cut it out with an X-Acto knife. I just happened to have the use of the laser cutter, which made it really fast and convenient. So now all I'm going to do is take some conductive ink and paint it on, staying within the lines of the template or the stencil the best I can. I don't want to get it glopped up underneath. It doesn't matter too much so long as that doesn't create a short between the lines. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit more here and then lay the board on it, and we can test that out once it dries. This kind of conductive paint becomes more conductive as it dries out. So let's set this aside and be a little bit careful peeling up my stencil. And now I'm going to set my board on those traces. Now we can wait for that to dry and then try it out. Okay, the paint has dried, and now I've put a little red LED sticker on there, and you can see that it's blinking because the paint is now conductive, and it looks a lot better than my freehand drawing. So that's your tip on using stencils to create conductive ink artwork.
Okay, we're back. I was doing some Periscope stuff with the extra battery. I think I got to it in time.
John Park was charming. I think I'm sure they're distracted.
Okay. Next up, Watch Tony do video. He just posted one like right now, this second. But you can check out the MicroPython SPI devices, and then the one that just went up on
I2C.
Yeah.
So that's
like
kind
just,
of
like this minute ago.
I mean, that isn't like everything, but we've covered, installation, usage, the REPL, digital input output, analog input, and PWM output, and now this is I2C and SPI, which is kind of like the core 6 things that you would do with a microcontroller. So like now with MicroPython, it's like a really good base that we'll be using to explore MicroPython.
Okay. And then next up, Mailbag.
Packet the friendly
Packet the Mailbags here. This week's going to be a little bit different from Mailbag. You know why?
Why? Are you going to do an interpretive dance?
I did. Only on Periscope, though. Okay. Here's some of the photos that came in of folks opening up their Ada box. So that's cats, kids, cats,
cats and kids.
Cats and kids,
Cats and cats.
Yeah, so that's a lot of...
that's all I really want in life.
Yeah. And so those are just some of the ones that we saw. And then this was from Twitter. And this is folks who put pound AdaBox. And this also scrolls on forever.
Yeah, it's neat. People really like the packaging. We spent a lot of... Check out the unboxing, of course, and we talk about a lot in detail.
Yeah.
You know, where the AdaBox was made and what kind of packaging we did, and all about the special tissue paper and the collectibles.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. Subscribe, because we ran out of available subscriptions fast. So if there's any available, you'll want to sign up, because that's that for 90 days.
So here's some more.
Is there more cats and kids?
Yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like folks are doing stuff right away. And so I think this is like an interactive mailbag. It's like it's multimedia.
Cats.
It's like the hypercard of mailbags, because it's all the photos and things and more photos and videos of folks getting them. So that's that. Next up, this is another type of mailbag. So we had a reseller, Chicago Electronics Distributors, who celebrated a bit of a milestone. They hit a certain goal that they wanted to, selling Adafruit products.
Okay.
And they said, oh, like, can you put us on the site, or is there some type of promotion we can do? I said, well, could you send us, your Adafruit story? And Craig did. So this is Craig from Chicago Electronic Distributors. Here's my Adafruit story. Here. I purchased my first Raspberry Pi in January 2013 and realized the Pi could be a bit tricky. Someone new to Linux, I thought it'd be fun to start a business selling configured Raspberry Pi systems for educational and home entertainment. So a month later, I incorporated Chicago Electronic Distributors. Around that time, I learned about the super cool company called Adafruit, and I bought Pi Cobbler, DS18B20 temperature sensor, and a case for my Pi. I was soon logging temperature with my Pi. So I'm going to skip to the bottom. And this is what he said. So fast forward to today, we are stocking around 400 Adafruit products, adding more every week. While we still do a lot of work with the Raspberry Pi, we fairly entrenched in the Arduino community. We have a great group of suppliers. I even started a Canadian business called Elmwood Electronics to service customers north of the border. Hats off to Lady Adafruit, the entire Adafruit team. You built a great company. It's truly been a pleasure working with Adafruit. And he also included his first order. Excuse me. There it is. Order 239,850. We're up to like 1.3 million right now. Yeah.
And so what I think is really neat is, we work with thousands of distributors, hacker spaces, maker spaces, and schools, and we really dig having this wide network. Like, we love selling direct to customers, but we also realize that there are some people who could be serviced from distributors or from their maker spaces, and so having good prices and fast service to them, and we have a reseller shipping team that works really hard to make to make it work out for all the resellers and give them really good service. This is part of the stuff that happens behind the scenes. A lot of people they're like, I can get Adafruit stuff from Chicago distributors or from Adafruit. They don't realize that how much work goes behind the scenes to keep inventory going. And
Also
maintain that relationship.
He started a Canadian electronics company.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so we have 1,582 distributors right now, and we decided let's empower people to start their own businesses. So that's how that started.
Yep.
So that's neat. Okay. This is not Mailbag at all whatsoever. I just have to show folks. So someone did this for us. They went to the Star Trek convention. Thank you so much, David. And he stood in line, and he got a LeVar Burton, Geordie LaForge signed photo, Phil and Lamore.
And check out that
Peace and
signature.
blessings. What's cool.
Going on there? That's cool.
That is so cool. Anyways,
it's like
thank
a
you
face
so much. Yeah, I forgot to put it on the show last week, but now it is. Okay.
All right.
Next up.
It's okay. We have until 25th century. When is it?
Top one. Adafruit Jobs Board. Okay, this is yet another job from the Adafruit Jobs Board, jobs.adafruit.com, and here it is. STEAM instructor for after school program, looking for instructors to teach elementary and middle school kids science, electronics, and programming for the fall semester. This is in Brooklyn, New York. They're looking for fun and thoughtful people with a background in science and engineering. Working 2 to 3 days a week, 2 to 3 hours per day, with the possibility of more hours based on skill experience. Classes are held 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. and it's a public school in Clinton Hill neighborhood of Brooklyn on the C&G lines. So this is cool. No Arduino, Raspberry Pi, Minecraft, Blockly, Scratcher, Python programming. You can teach kids.
Great.
This is a cool job.
You love doing this stuff?
Yeah.
This is a good way to get experience with teaching.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like it's a after school program.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and so kind of back what you were saying before. So we do crazy things.
Are we crazy?
We do crazy things.
Oh,
so
not that crazy.
I just emailed the new CEO of SparkFun. I said, hey, here, if you want Adafruit top seller list, let us know. We'd love to see you stock more stuff. SparkFun stocks a couple NeoPixel products and Minty Boost. We buy, I think we're the biggest purchaser of the Pro Mini, Arduino Pro Mini. And so I said, hey, welcome. They're the new CEO of SparkFun. So I sent an email. We'll see what happens. But just so you know how like targeted Facebook ads work. So
I'm not.
Yeah, I know you're not on Facebook, but check this out. This is a job. So I'm pulling in jobs from other sites now. So if you want to be a creative technologist, so if you know Nick Poole or Sean Heimel, they do a lot of the videos at SparkFun. They're hiring for someone like them. So if you're in the Colorado area, or maybe if you're not, I don't know if it's a real thing, but it was a sponsored post. So it was super targeted. Exactly the right people saw this. Okay. So that's kind of neat. You got to admit, that's neat. It did
good work, Facebook.
Yeah. So anyways, if someone is a video star in electronics.
So if you're a maker and you want to do this for a living, there are jobs available. You can teach kids. You can do videos and tutorials and projects.
Yeah. I think we did a good job.
It's a job now.
Getting the idea out that you can make electronics and do videos. So
and tutorials and have fun doing it.
I think it's now a profession.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, time travel. All right. Do you know what product you released 3 years ago without looking at the screen?
No, I don't. Okay. I do
well,
not.
It's the Gemma.
Okay.
That's time travel.
All right.
Yeah. So why did you make the Gemma? What was the reason?
Okay, this is a very good question. This is actually a little bit of a problem I have. As soon as I finish working on a project, I hate it. And this is a common, I think, thing with engineers and artists. I think as soon as you work very hard to get something perfected or as good as you think you can get it. And I can't be too perfectionist because I have to release. So what happened is that 6 years ago, or was it, we did the Flora. Was it 6 years ago? Mm-hmm. And the Flora was invented basically to drive NeoPixels because I found this chip. This was before they were all in one. There was the chip, and then I had the chip with the LED. And so I had to design a wearable that could drive these wearable pixels. This was like all just to get NeoPixels sewn into clothing. And as soon as I finished the Flora, which was delayed because we ended up doing Raspberry Pi stuff in between, which is a very interesting story in and of itself. But so we finished the Flora, and the Flora is actually up to Rev 3. I've actually improved the Flora 2 times since then. But after the Flora was released, I immediately kind of hated it. Like, I didn't hate it, but I was like, well, like, it's okay, but like, I wanted something better. And I wanted something lower cost, I wanted something simpler. And so after we had released the Trinket, which was an AT-Tiny85 based, Arduino compatible, I was like, you know what, this would make a really great little wearable, because a lot of people, when they make wearable electronics, all they really want is like, oh, when this switch gets pressed or the capacitive touch thing happens, light some LEDs or like make a tone or something. Very, very simple projects. And so I wanted to have, at the time I couldn't make the Flora under $10. It wasn't possible because of the parts cost. I couldn't get the pricing I needed. Although now we do have really good pricing, so the price of the Flora has gone down. But at the time, my best bet was going to this other chip, the AT-Tiny85. So what I did was I took the Trinket and kind of respun it into like a very small micro. And this is the Gemma 2. The original Gemma didn't have an on-off switch, and it used the SOIC version. But now that we have really good pick-in places, I can go to the QFN. So I made the QFN, and then I added an on-off switch, which I think is really handy. And so I think this is adorable. This is like a super minimalist wearable, but it's extremely popular. And then later on, we worked with Arduino to make an Arduino version with a nice teal blue color. Yeah. And it's just super simple, and you can use it with alligator clips, which I really like. Yeah. So you can, it's not only wearable, but it's like a solder-free, very low cost, very simple Arduino. Very good for, can drive NeoPixels, do basic sensor stuff. We have a lot of projects with the Gemma. We even have we have a book that covers Trinket and Gemma. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So that is what happened 3 years ago.
Okay, thanks for the update.
Also, some open source hardware news. Once again, we're a supporting member.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the Open Source Hardware Summit posted the schedule. So if you're interested in going, it's in Portland, it's October 7th, and check it out. Now, of course, I showed, as soon as I showed the new logos, this guy, Dave Jones, and someone else made this thing. So,
der Gebicke.
Yeah, so this is an open source hardware logo generator. So if you have the schematics, PCB, firmware and/or software, mechanical CAD files, design documentation, bill of materials, license use does not restrict non-commercial use.
So it's not non-commercial. It says commercial use allowed.
Does not restrict non-commercial. Boy, that's going to get confusing. Okay. You're not going to not. Anyways.
It should say commercial use allowed or not commercial.
Yeah.
Commercial use not allowed.
Yeah, so anyways.
Non-commercial, that is annoying. They put the not before the commercial. What they should say commercial not. Yeah.
Anyways, so if you're looking to add more specifics and want to use the previous logo, you could use this. So this is what you would use if this is important to you. So
we release everything that we can.
Yeah.
So that's.
So
we don't actually release a bill of materials because what we do is we just make sure that the schematic, we release the original files and we export the bill of materials.
Yeah.
But that's because it's only hardware. I mean, maybe for mechanical parts it'd be different. I don't know.
Yeah. I was talking with someone, and one of the things that I was thinking was there's an issue with open source hardware, which is everyone thinks there's going to be a magic license that protects your hardware forever. And
yes,
and that's not the way it works.
Most of those things, by the way, can you go back to does the specificum be good? Thanks. Most of these things are actually not protectable whatsoever. So design documentation, like maybe you could do under copyright, but the bill of materials is not protectable, and the schematic is not protectable whatsoever either. I mean, the license would have to be commercial, non-commercial per item, and there are some things where. The PCB is open source, but the firmware is not, and there's different licenses. This is one of the things about it. Firmware is copyright. Mechanical CAD files might be copyright, but it's a little unclear if you redesign it. You could patent it, I guess. Design documentation, I guess it depends on what that is. Might be under copyright, but then is it for use? It's for the thing is that some of these things are copyright is only for the physical instantiation of the thing. Like the schematic itself, the drawing of the schematic, you can copyright, but the schematic logic, what the schematic describes, is not.
Yeah.
Likewise with PCBs, it's different. There may be protection for PCBs, not for the net list. Net list is a factual statement. For the PCB, maybe the artwork. But it hasn't been taken to court.
So this would demonstrate intention that someone wants to share all this stuff.
Yeah.
The reality is, for open source hardware or people thinking about it, they don't know what's protectable or not. That's actually the thing. So I was thinking about it, and I broke it up into three things.
Yeah.
It can actually be broken down into three things.
Three things.
And the three things are the following.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. So if you're talking about you want to make hardware for a living.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is what you do.
What do I do?
You trademark your brand.
Trademark your brand.
You license your code.
Under an open source license or not. But the code is one thing that is like absolutely, there is case law.
Yeah.
We know the case law about code.
And you give away your design files. And those words are specific. You give it away. You're giving away your design files. When you publish or release hardware, you're giving away the design.
Right. The minute the PCB leaves your factory, it's over.
Yeah, because someone can look at it.
Physical access is duplicate. I mean, like maybe, look, okay, of course someone's like, but I have an 8-layer, 16-layer board. Okay, yeah, sure, it's going to be harder to delaminate it. But pretty much the PCB layout, and you can remove every component. I mean, you could scratch the part numbers off, but like this.
Yeah, so that
barely works.
So that's a way to break up open source hardware or hardware in general to what's protectable and what you're actually giving away.
Firmware and software protectable, trademark protectable, design file.
You give it away.
You got to give it away.
Yeah. Recipes are not copyrightable, so look at it as like a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you say this is the recipe, it's gone forever.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That would be a way to explain hardware to people.
It's funny we had the
because otherwise it's going to look like this all the time.
Spiff.
Anyways.
It's funny because we had this was it the CEO of MakerBot? Man, was he
Jonathan?
Yeah, what was he CEO? What was he? Director?
Jonathan is currently still the CEO of MakerBot.
Okay, so he came here and he was like, "Oh, like what are some things we can do to like help get the maker market to love us again?" And I was like, "Well, why don't you release the motor driver board as open source hardware?" And he's like, "Oh, we can't do that." And I'm like, "Why not? It's completely unprotectable." I said, like, I can go over there right now and like if I can get a MakerBot 6 or whatever, I can redraw and recreate the motor driver board. It ain't no thing.
Yeah.
Like there ain't
But
anything going on.
but
But
even-
he's like, no, I have to protect it. And I'm like, that's the one thing that you can't protect.
Yeah, and so that's the misconception all the way up to the CEO of a company like MakerBot with a parent company like Stratasys. He thinks that the physical hardware is protectable. It's not.
Completely not.
He can trademark the brand, can license the code, but he gives away the hardware.
They can even maybe get design patents on the look
Yeah.
of it, but the functionality, I mean, it's completely not under
Yeah.
patent, because that's the whole point of MakerBot, is it was not under patent.
Yeah.
And
Anyways.
and yeah, but even the firmware, you know, has been rewritten multiple times, and there's better open source firmware.
Yeah.
So it's all
Okay.
very questionable.
Okay. So, anyways.
That
that's
was
the
some
latest.
open source hardware news.
Yeah, we had to do it. Okay.
Basically, manage people's, when you release open source hardware, just
Yeah.
explain what you want
So
to
here's,
happen.
I have two tours. One was from yesterday. You can watch on YouTube. But here's one that it's just gliding through, and it's only a minute. So this is a quick tour of the Adafruit factory.
Stencils,
Yeah, and you go in, and here's some of our machinery.
feeder rack. Is that Vance?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's going in. So this is the one we shot. I think it's an Instagram video. But folks have been asking for this. So if you go on our channel, youtube.com/Adafruit, it's also on Twitch and Facebook.
It's our line.
Yeah, we have a 7-minute video from yesterday of the pick and place line, and then we also of you giving a tour of it as well. And then you did a talk today for West Point for their event, and that was a lot of fun.
I'm cyber. Hold
Yeah.
on, I gotta get my cyber out. Cyber.
Yeah. So. If,
And then you can see my desk. See this?
yeah,
Going past
there's me
Phil's
over
desk.
there.
Hey,
Yeah,
Phil desk. You see Angelica and Kathy, and then I'm there, and I've got my headphones on. Hey, hello. That's me. That's cool. That's a tour. That's the fabrication department. That's the 10,000 square feet we have here. That's where we're broadcasting out right now.
Yeah.
Time to
Okay.
go.
All right.
Okay.
What is the learning system up to this week, Lady Ada?
Wow, I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what is
Okay.
it?
Well, I can do these then.
No, I can do the, but the number, I don't remember the number.
Oh, you wanted to make
Sometimes
a
you
guess?
say, like, what's the number?
Oh,
I don't know.
1065.
1060. Okay, see, I don't know.
All right.
That's a
you can
lot.
do
Okay, I remember when we hit 1,000. Okay, I think so. This week, I think what we had going on is we had the contents of the Ada box 001. So that's the like the unboxing text and the videos embedded in it. We also released a tutorial on breadboards for beginners. So that's really handy because a lot of people who are using stuff like AdaBox or Arduino, you know, breadboards are a little challenging to use, and we didn't have a good tutorial that really covered everything with breadboards. And so we had some cool animated GIFs made, and like I took out the pins and I took photos, and it's like all good stuff. So check that out. We also had the MicroPython guide for SPI devices by Tony D, and then this week's 3D project, which is the Circuit Playground Yo-Yo. It's a full all-in-one 3D printed yo-yo that has light reaction. You can make it like do stuff when the sensor goes off and other cool things. So that's this week's tutorial. 4 tutorials this week.
Okay. All right. next up.
1065. Okay, so we're gonna get to 2,000.
Yeah, we're gonna
slowly
get
but
there.
surely.
Okay. And then a couple things from the learning system. I just wanted to show you made this cool video of the breadboard.
Yeah,
That's
animated
nice.
GIFs. So I did some Photoshop
Yeah.
action there.
And then Phil B made these nice graphics.
He made lovely graphics. So I wanted to replace some old graphics that were not. They were very small, and so also I updated a whole bunch of guides. A lot of guides got updated. I updated some Raspberry Pi, the console cable guide, and I don't remember the other two. The Wi-Fi access point guide, and then another one. And so one of the nice things is because we have all these great fritzing drawings now, I could make diagrams with fritzing that I think show the wiring up. Because the photo is good, but like nothing beats that. Can you go back to that? Let's see how awesome that diagram is. No, the next one. To the right. Yeah. So it's like, okay, white wire, red, green wire, black wire. It's super clear which ones connect to the Raspberry Pi. And I also upload the fritzing file because if the Raspberry Pi updates again, it'll be very easy to update the diagram. So yeah, I'm into it.
Okay.
This fritzing stuff was like 2 months, but it's paying off.
Yeah, and we did we put an issue in on GitHub, and Andre,
Andre
one of the
Kearney.
founders
Yeah.
of Fritzing, said, you're just going to, you said do pull requests, and they're going to add our parts in.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the bins in. Phil B actually made some adorable little graphics as well, so that the bins show up. It says Adafruit with a little Raspberry Pi. So that's kind of one of the things I'm going to have to do tomorrow. I'm going to get all of those bins with all 350 parts pushed into Fritzing, and so it'll be automatically pulled. If you have the most recent Fritzing, it actually uses Git to grab the latest parts. It'll actually automatically pull them in. So that'll be really cool.
Okay. Next up, we got a lot to go over.
Okay.
So this is some Hackaday news. We are a media partner, so that just basically means we're going to do a couple blog posts about the Hackaday supercon, the event coming up. It's always a little weird for me because Hackaday is a site I started, and there was a bunch of, I had this Hackaday manifesto of all the things that I was going to do with it, and they're getting to some of them. So anyways, they did this event. They're doing it again. Okay. It's in Pasadena.
Ooh, it's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. And then they have this little video, so I'm going to play it. Okay. Maybe it's a friendly cloud entity. So this is our Internet of Things section. We have Adafruit.io. It's our free Internet of Things service for makers. It's in beta. We are eventually going to charge money for it, so enjoy it now for free, because we will not do something that will put us out of business like many other companies choose to do for these free online services. So we will make a business model that makes sense for what we want to do and what our customers want to do. So speaking of, we have an IoT update for this. This is Adafruit.io. Our I/O update is the following. We are filling our destiny. So back in 2013, you talked about Internet of Things Bill of Rights, all the things that are important. So open's better than closed, consumers not company-owned data, Internet of Things devices shouldn't just collect public data without sharing the data. Users have the right to keep their data private, and users can delete or back up their data. So of course, what do we have on our Internet of Things service? How do you get your data out of Adafruit.io?
Yep.
We make it super easy in all sorts of different ways. It's there.
Yes.
It's there for you to take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that was important to us.
Anytime.
Yeah. So we're listening to the thing that we came up with.
You can also get it all through the REST interface. So you can actually use your Adafruit.io device to back up your Adafruit.io. Whoa.
Yeah.
Intense.
And not that we're keeping track, but we are. The Samsung CEO is on stage, and it's on our blog, and he said their IoT products will be open. So we're waiting for that because they said open. So yeah, so I'm waiting, but we're going to check in later. Okay. I think it was like a CES presentation.
That was like 2 or 3 years ago, CES.
Yep, okay, 3D printing. Zip, 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 zip. Noah and Pedro have a great video. We're going to watch it.
Yo.
Watch it.
Yo.
In this project, I'll show you how to make a glowing LED yo-yo using Adafruit Circuit Playground. It's 3D printed and tug responsive, so it's easy to wind up after a throw. It also spins for a couple of seconds, giving you enough time to pull off a few tricks. This is a derivative of Morgan Stewart's Circuit Playground yo-yo. You can check out her version and see it in action on Adafruit Show and Tell. We'll have it linked below. In this remix, we'll use a single circuit playground and a slide switch adapter so it's easy to turn on and off the LEDs. I designed it in Fusion 360 so it's parametric and relatively easy to make adjustments. I made sure to leave a hole for the USB port so it's easy to reprogram. It's a 6-piece assembly that screws together via threads. It's only 58mm or 2.2 inches in diameter, so it'll fit on even the smallest 3D printer. I wanted to make the cover a separate piece so that I could diffuse the LEDs and print without any support materials. But instead of 3D printing it, I decided to mill it out of 1-inch thick acrylic. This 2-color acrylic is black on white, so we'll be able to diffuse the LEDs and have a nice contrasting color scheme. I used the other mill desktop CNC to cut out my design. Using a 1/16 inch flattened mill, I milled out a pocket. This ring needs to be deep enough to cut through the black color and allow for the LEDs to shine through. I then switched out the tool for a 1/64 inch flattened mill. This will allow me to engrave a little Adafruit logo in the center of the piece. It took about a half hour to mill the entire cover, but it came out really nice. This could also be cut on a laser cutter or, of course, 3D printed. I 3D printed the rest of the pieces at 150 microns so the threads would have more layers, thus resulting in a higher quality part. And now we have all of our pieces. I'll start by gluing the acrylic cover to the twisty top using super glue. I also milled another one out of fluorescent pink transparent acrylic, so you can experiment with different colors and get different color schemes. Next, I built a slide switch adapter by trimming a JST extension cable and soldering the positive connection in line with the slide switch. Tinning the leads and exposed wires will allow us to solder these together without much fuss. Then I connected the ground wires together and added a piece of heat shrink tubing to insulate the connection. A dab of hot glue around the solder joints of the LiPo battery will add strain relief, preventing the wires from being torn. Next, I'll test it by connecting the slide switch JST adapter to the circuit playground and the other end to the LiPo battery. Now I can easily turn on and off the LEDs. I'll start assembling the yo-yo by installing the axle inside of part A. Then I'll hold it in place and twist on part B until it's fully tightened. Now I can orient the two so the holes line up with each other. A bit of super glue will permanently bond the axle to part A. Next, we can install the yo-yo string by untwisting the end and fitting it over the axle. The string will slide into a little groove along the center of the axle. Now we can thread the JST cable through part A and the axle. I'll pull it all the way through and connect it to the circuit playground board. Line up the board so the USB port faces the hole, and press it down into part A until the little nubs from the standoffs snap fit into the pins on the circuit playground. Now we can twist part B onto the axle. Then connect the LiPo battery to the JST cable. We can then install the slide switch by pressing it down into place. The actuator will poke through so you can flick it on and off. Next, I'll need to secure the battery to the cover of part B, so I'll add a piece of mounting tack and stick it in the center. And with that in place, we can screw on the cover and tighten everything up. Lastly, we can wind up the yo-yo string, and that's pretty much it. Now you can give it a quick test spin and see if everything is balanced. I was able to get it to sleep for about 4 seconds before it came to rest. And it's easy to switch out the cover since they're just twisty tops. I hope you guys liked this project. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit.
Okay, that was an
Okay.
on-page video. That was a good one because
Yeah.
it was the
I love yo-yos.
it was a yo-yo video.
Yeah.
All right, next up. We got a little time-lapse video. I'm going to skip that this week because we're running short on time because I had a bunch of stuff. Let's go
Good
right
stuff.
to, so tomorrow, check out all the stuff on 3D Hangouts with Noah and Pedro. We had some big Pi news this week. Congratulations, Raspberry Pi 10 million pies.
10 million.
And this information is even a little stale, as they say, because they already hit that number. So they surpassed 10 million. I looked on our blog because I did the market share stuff for a while. And last year, 2015, September 23rd, they hit 5 million.
Wow.
So
5 million in a year.
5 million in a year. That's a big deal.
Amazing. That's a lot of Raspberry Pis.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Raspberry Pis.
Yeah. Remember the time we were in a meeting and a venture capitalist was quoting market share numbers about microcontrollers?
Yeah.
And I said, that's not correct. And he goes, no, I know this is corrected. And then he said where he saw it, and it was my article.
That was funny.
That was like one of the best things ever, because he was correcting me about my own. I got mansplained.
Yeah.
He was telling me that he's like, no, because I was verbally saying what the numbers are, and he's like, no, that's not correct. And I'm like, where are you getting these numbers from? And he's like,
how do you know?
and he's
BC
like,
guy?
this article. I'm like, that's my article. Like you're reading the numbers wrong. Anyways, that was fun.
Okay, so 5 million Raspberry Pis in 1 year.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
All right. Here's Phil B's project.
Just picked it up.
Ta-da! Did you see this?
I didn't see this video though.
Yeah, it's good. And then, so this is it.
I
He made
love how he
this
picked up
tiny
the cupcake and it's like underneath was hiding a smaller one.
And then here he's playing Pac-Man on this thing. It's like so cute. It's like you just want to.
You could actually fit it in
like,
your mouth.
Yeah.
Do not eat the electronics. Yeah, and it works too. It's actually running MAME on the Pi Zero and then echoing the HDMI screen to this little OLED.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Okay, nice work. Yeah, it's a 1-inch diagonal screen.
And someone in the chat said, "Is this in the Guinness World Book of Records?" You know, it probably could be the world's smallest arcade. Probably could.
Yeah, working.
Phil V, I guess
And you can play it too.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess
it's
if you want to be in
fun.
Guinness, this could do it, and it's playable too.
That's kind of a weird. You have
Yeah.
to pay to.
I don't know what the deal is anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right, Lady Ada. Before we get into new products, codes toggle, 10% off the native store, way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. Let's do this. Ready?
Okay.
Ready? Ready?
Dun dun dun! It's a new.
Yeah. All right.
First up,
Pi book.
updated. This is now third edition of this book. It is by Matt Richardson and Sean Wallace, who are also. At least Matt Richardson is
works at the Pi World.
Yeah, he's Pi Foundation person. It's been updated now, covers the Pi 2 and Pi 3, so it is all of the most recentest, which is really good because there have been changes. We've been updating our guides because there's been changes. It's a great starter book. I suggest to pick one up if you want to learn about Raspberry Pi. It has awesome diagrams and these really cool photos, and it has pictures, it's full color, and it has fritzing diagrams. So it's kind of everything you need to get started with electronics on the Raspberry Pi.
Speaking of, we have got these cards.
Yeah, these are cool. So
Why are they cool?
I'll tell you why they're cool. Because we have been burning our SD cards, which is fine. But now we have the official. I don't know where the card went, but it's fine. You can see it here. It is an official Raspberry Pi, with a logo, and it's by the company that supplies SD cards, and so it's going to always have the most recent noobs on it. And we're going to be basically updating our kits to include this because noobs is kind of nice. You get you get Raspbian already on it, and it also has Windows 10 IoT, and it has Kodi, OSMC, I think Arch Linux, a couple other things on there. So it allows you to install multiple operating systems, and 8 gigabytes enough to install 2 operating systems on there, which is which is good. You can have Kodi and Raspbian, for example.
Okay, next up.
Okay, this is a little switch. So this is an adorable 8-way switch, and this was a request by John Park, who was making the Chewbacca mask and wanted something that basically allowed him to select one of 8 positions. So yeah, I gotta show this because it's just so teeny and cute, much like that little arcade. So this has 10 points on the bottom. It has 8 all the way around, and then it has 1 in the center, which you can kind of see. This one's in the center. And this switch, as you switch it around, it changes the connection from this one to any one of 8. So it's a 1 to 8 connector. So it's single pole, 8th row, I guess. And you can use it with our T18 knobs. They work really well. You can panel mount it. This comes with a washer and a hex nut. So it's good if you're just like, look, I don't want a rotary encoder, which is annoying. You have to like keep track of these pulses. You just want to have 8 digital IOs or 8 different LEDs or 8 outputs or inputs, and you just want to select between them. It says mechanical switch, and that's all it does. Very easy. Only thing is it's not breadboard friendly, so you might want to panel mount it and then just solder wires to the ends.
Okay.
But 8, and it's very small, very compact.
Okay.
Good for embedding in projects.
We got these trigger switches.
Toggle.
That's why the code's toggle, I guess, huh?
Toggle. Yeah, it is.
We got 2 different types too.
Okay, so we have 2 colors. I actually got samples of other colors, but they didn't look as good. I'm going to get them redone before, because like I got white and blue, but they didn't look good. The LED was way too bright. It wasn't useful. So we're going to get this redone. But for now, we have yellow and red, and I'll show these. So these are nice big toggle switches. But what's really cool is the toggle has a light at the end of it. Oh my God. And the way that this is wired up now is when this is off, the LED is off. You can control the LED separately from the, let me think, yeah, it goes like this. So now it's on all the time. And the switch just connects these 2 on and off. So you can have it, tell you when the LED can tell you when the switch is connected to power, or you can have it just be on all the time. And then there's this cool cover. You can remove the cover. There's just 2 washers, hex nuts. And you just remove the hex nuts and then remove the cover and put it back in place. It's for 12 volts, and it says 20 amps. I don't know. That's not what even though it says that, I don't know if I would put more than 2 amps through it. I just haven't been able to test it for more than that. But as is, these are really handy for all sorts of like interfaces that you want to have fancy. And so here's the red one. That was the orangish yellow. And then hopefully we'll get more colors in. I didn't want to carry the ones that we had because, again, they weren't that great.
Yeah.
And even though the LED has an internal resistor, you can use it from 3 volts up to 12 volts. So this is 3 volts. It's lit. It's not super bright. It's just from a coin cell for this demo. But you can power it up to 12 volts. And again, if you want, add a resistor in line here if you want to change the dimness. But then this is I'll make it so it turns off automatically. Okay, so on. Wait, did I get that right? No. Oh my God, I just did the wrong thing. Hold on. Sorry. This goes here. Okay, so on and then off automatically when you do the cover. So I don't know, cool. Want to make like a control panel? Very handy.
Yeah.
Toggle switches.
Okay.
Kind of like that automatically turns it off when you close the toggle cover too. So
Nice
red
touch.
and yellow to start.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
That's that.
There's more. So now
more.
we got this seed board.
Yeah, this is the Arduino Lite. So the Arduino Leonardo has been discontinued by Arduino CC, but there's still a couple projects that we have that use the form factor and the chipset of the 32U4. And so Seed has a derivative, which is similar enough. It has a couple of extras. It doesn't have headers attached, so you can solder them on, but it will act like a Leonardo. And so it's pin compatible and shape compatible. So handy if you want to build a project that uses a Leonardo, but you can't get them because they're discontinued. This is still being made. And this is the wonder of open source hardware. Because the Leonardo is open source hardware, they can make this version. So yeah, it comes with no headers attached, but you can solder them on, and then it looks like the next photo. So click on the looks like that, and that's it. Pretty simple.
Definitely like McDonald's color pattern.
It
like
is
you can't there's certain color
I want
palettes
fries.
that you can't not think of, and I'm just like, wow, it's like this comes in a Happy Meal. It's cool.
Hash browns.
Okay.
So that's the Arduino Lite. And then last
Star
but
of the
not
show,
least
yeah, besides you tonight
is the
this board.
SI7021. So this is a relative humidity and temperature sensor from Scilabs. It's a really lovely sensor. It's actually quite nice, and they gave me a very good price on it. And so we put it on a breakout board with voltage regulator and level shifter, so you can use it with 3 volts or 5 volts. It's very compact. It's I2C. It's very simple. We have a library for it. Run it, get the temperature, get the humidity. That white flat thing on the top is a Teflon filter. And so it is protected from dirt and excess moisture. So it's good up to 80% humidity, but to reduce the chance of condensation and to keep dust and dirt and flux out, there's that little white cover. So we spent a couple extra cents and got that, but we think it's worth it. So this is I think our most reasonably priced humidity sensor. So it's good. The competition is working. We're able to get better and better pricing all the time. So this is the new sensor.
All right. Here you go. That's new products.
Yeah.
Good work, Lady Ada. You did it.
Yay. New.
Okay, well, for the folks who want to add some of that stuff to your cart and check out and save $1 or $2, use Toggle.
Get 10% off everything we showed.
Yeah.
Books,
Yep,
SD cards.
I think there's still $8 if you want that fun $8. I think you can still get one.
Not discounted, but still.
Yeah.
It's already quite a deal.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do some speed round questions here, Lady Ada.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Folks, post your questions.
I'm ready. I'm ready and willing.
How well would that humidity sensor work in Florida where it's 80% humid?
80% is the limit. So I don't know. I mean, if you can actually make sure it doesn't go above 80, I think it's okay. You should check the data sheet for the absolute max, but it's rated for up to 80%.
Okay, question. Can you call up the photo in Facebook? I know, chat, my Larson scanner schematic that's 33 years old today. Oh, I guess someone has a, I don't see it in the Facebook chat.
Yeah, this computer is not actually Facebook.
No, I'm going to see if I can find it. I don't see the link. Go to Twitch and post a link.
Yeah, that's your best bet.
Yeah, I can't see the Facebook.
Facebook is Facebook.
Chat. It doesn't have your photo of the schematic, but if you go to twitch.tv/Adafruit,
can you post links? Yeah, you can post links.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that. Okay. Next up.
Okay. More questions.
Is there a community for electrical engineers trying to create medical applications? I don't know.
Ooh,
We're not in
I
it.
don't know. I don't do medical applications. I think, a lot of them go to conferences. So going to events, that's probably where you're going to meet the most people. I think they do a lot of events.
Yeah. Let me think. There's like some biohack labs that are starting. There's one in New York. And we have a biohacking newsletter, and there's a biohacking conference. That might be your best bet for like maker types. I mean, the biohacking world is kind of interesting because there's a lot of sensors. Yeah. And so I think that might be a way to get what you're looking for, or meeting some of the people who might do that. Next up, do you need the stuff in AdaBox 01 to continue with 2, 3, etc.? No,
nope, they're all standalone. But you can combine them like Voltron to make more advanced stuff because we'll have enough variation. I mean, we'll have some of the basics in each one. You're going to get wires, and if you need a breadboard, we'll include that in each one. Some do, some don't, but you'll be able to reuse parts. So you can always add LEDs from AdaBox 1 to whatever your project is in AdaBox 3 or 4. So we hope to have, just part of the challenge, you want to make each one standalone, but not be repetitive.
Okay. Next up, can I stream audio to Bluetooth speakers from Raspberry Pi with your Wi-Fi plus Bluetooth dongle?
Well, the Raspberry Pi 3 has built-in Bluetooth, and I believe someone did audio streaming. I believe Matt Richardson showed a demo of how to do that. I don't recall, but you could just Google for like Raspberry Pi 3 audio Bluetooth. I think you can. Yeah. But I'm vaguely recalling that.
Next up, where would someone find 7-segment backpacks without the displays?
We don't have some of the backpacks available without the displays, but we do have a breakout you can just grab. The thing is that the displays we have a specific pinout, and you can't just use any of them. Like, they don't all have the same pinout, and they have the right direction. But we have a breakout for our HT16K33 chip, so you can just grab that. And also we have the feather wings, so they're a little bit different than the backpacks, but you can grab the feather wings without the LED. We decided for those we would release them.
Okay. Do humidity sensors have a limited lifespan like chemical sensors?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think as long as you care for them, the chemical sensors do get poisoned. The sensing layer eventually, if you have the gases, it will poison it. But the humidity, it isn't a permanent damage, I think. I mean, as long as it isn't like so damp that it actually electrically shorts the device. I think that as long as you have a filter and you care for them, I think they should last a pretty long time. But you have to care for them. You can't. And that's the thing, is a lot. You can't just like, even though it's like, oh, it's a humidity sensor, I'll put it outside. You actually can't just do that. Exposure to the outdoors is pretty bad for electronics.
Next up, Bluefruit module or featherboard with Bluefruit.
Whichever one you want.
Okay. What are the planned difference between developer and rule the world edition circuit playground? Well, I can handle that one. Once we move out of developer edition, there'll be one that's Atmel based. There'll be maybe ones that aren't. There'll be ones that are MicroPython. There'll be ones that are wireless. Stuff like that.
An IoT one?
Yeah.
Circuit Playground Developer Edition is our experiment to see if it's working out. It seems to be working out. And any changes we need to make, but we're learning a lot, so.
Yeah. So on this show and tell, what service did you end up going to show and tell? We stuck with Google properties. We used YouTube, which still has Hangouts. You just have to do it in a different way, and we figured it out. And so far, I've not seen anyone successfully have this many people on a Hangout since they switched over yet. So
yeah.
I think we.
You hacked it.
No, there was no hacking.
No, but like, you know.
No, it's just there's no information. So
No, not hacking. But I'm saying like you manipulated it to do what you wanted. Like you know enough about it that you're like, oh, I get how to do what I want by like pressing the link and you.
It was just clicking.
Clicking.
I was just clicking.
Okay. Click to hack.
Yeah. Next up, are you going to New York City Maker Fair? If so, how many of your products will you be bringing to sell? We are going to walk around. We are selling nothing.
Well,
we're there to hang out at the fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be funny if it was like a little cigarette girl with like, well, hey, like hits. Now I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna be walking around and checking it out. Because we have 3,000 products, we would never be able to carry everything to sell there.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense.
Let's see, there's more. Can we write a guide with all the microprocessor boards we sell and which we'd use it for? We kind of have a few different guides that like when to use this or that. So like when to use Floor or Gemma, which will probably get you pretty far. Also, Make has a board guide, which has a lot of our boards in it. But also, post up in the forum, say the project you're doing.
Yeah, it's like, no matter, even if we did, it would never cover every possible option. So that's where we have our engineers help people. They're like, hey, I want to do this, this, and this. And they're like, oh, for that specific thing, you want a Teensy or you want a Raspberry Pi or you want because some of the specifics, like if you're doing a lot of analog sensing, a Raspberry Pi may not be the right thing if you just want to do data logging. Whereas if you want to do audio video, you might need a Big Open Black. Like there's so many different variables.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
Is there Reddit AMA from Adafruit guys, gals? I was banned from Reddit because I posted a response to someone about Raspberry Pi shipping. It was a link to our Ask an Engineer video, and I also said
and they said it was an ad.
I also said we landed on the moon, and so one of the moon truthers.
You think so?
Yeah, that was the person who complained, and they were like in charge of that forum, and then I got shadow banned and then banned. So.
We're here. You can ask us anything now.
Yeah. So that's just, like...
We do name it every week.
Yeah, I think I've been on Reddit for 10 years.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
Yeah. Pete Terone on Reddit. You can see my profile. But anyways, I got shadow banned because I said that we charge for shipping and we landed on the moon. And I think this guy got mad. Anyways, someone is saying... Do we not take questions from the chat? We just did.
We're doing it right now.
Crazy question. Is it possible to find out which sketch is loaded on a microcontroller, such as an Arduino?
It's tough. I mean, you can take the firmware off, but you won't get the original code. It would be, compiled machine language.
What scope do you have on your desk?
I have a Tektronix, but I don't remember the part exact number. It's like the MDO 2015 or 14, I think.
Yeah.
And then at home I have another Tektronix. 2000, but I can't remember the part number.
Any job opportunities in Florida for Adafruit? We work with people remotely, do amazing work and post it online. That's the best way to go. Come on our show and tell.
We find some of our best people through the show and tell, or people publishing tutorials in the community. Yeah. And posting on Learn. This is 2016. This is how we think the world can work, where your achievements are rewarded. Can you use an ESP8266 for Wi-Fi cracking? No, I don't believe you have low enough access to get the packets you need. I mean, I haven't done Wi-Fi cracking. I mean, you could always brute force, but I think if you actually want to grab packets, you'll want something a little bit more advanced. And I think you even need a specific chipset for the probably like an Atheros or something chipset for the Wi-Fi. So I think there's Wi-Fi dongles that you would use, and you probably want like a Raspberry Pi or something to run the software.
So, question: will there ever be a PCB section in the store? Well, I will
we do
say,
have PCBs.
Yeah, we do have some
Yeah.
PCBs. We don't do PCBs for all of the products because that's a crazy support burden. But you know, you can always get the files and make your own.
Yes, all the files are up on GitHub, and we have some breakout boards and
Yeah.
permaprotos and
Okay.
stuff.
Add Hazada Circuit Playground via serial for a Circuit Playground to have Wi-Fi. Any example sketches?
We have no example sketches. You can do it, but we don't have
Yeah.
any examples. So
Okay.
you find some Arduino sketches. They should just work. Circuit Playground is Arduino compatible.
Okay. Oh, Twitch didn't cooperate. Check out the Adafruit email account for the Washington scanners. That balance too. Yeah, John, just email support@adafruit.com and put attention fill, and I'll show the schematic next week. No biggie. Yeah, I know. We did land on the moon. Is that crazy? And then I'm pretty much through. Okay, that was all of the ones on YouTube. That's it. We got all of them.
Okay, cool.
Good work, Lady Ada.
Yeah.
So now it's trivia time. What do you want to give away?
We're going to give away one of these lovely SI 7021 temperature humidity. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yes. Yo. Yo. I don't know. Why are we yelling?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, the prize is going to be this I2C temperature humidity sensor. It's a lovely sensor. It works great with Arduino or anything that has I2C. We've got some example code up. Useful if you're not in a 90% humidity state. I feel bad for you if you are. Tough.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the question. Ready? Oh,
Yeah.
well, you have to tell the rules.
Oh, the rules are if you, the first person to answer the question, any of the chats that we watch, we're watching Facebook and Twitch and YouTube and stuff. First one to answer a question the way Phil wants it answered is the winner. He declares a winner. Just because you think that somebody else said it first doesn't necessarily, we see a certain order. Trust
Yeah.
me, it's not always the same order.
Yeah, we're in time dilation because we're in 3 different chats. at
There's a
once,
lot of
so-
different chats. Some of them are faster than others too. We'll win.
Yeah.
This probably a surprise. If you want something before you can't win again, only one winner per my lifetime. And don't call us on the phone to complain if you don't win.
Okay.
I don't know how many times I need to say this.
Ooh.
We'll keep saying it.
Yeah. Okay. You ready for the question?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, the disclaimer sounds like one of those pharmaceutical commercials.
I know.
Like it sounds like a
Don't apply to your skin.
it sounds
For
like a
external use only. I don't know.
yeah, like a witch's curse on you, or like
Yeah.
a spell.
I want to be like the Micro Machines guy.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, there was
cool.
an interesting story about him, but anyways, I'll look it up later.
Okay.
Okay. So
Here it comes.
yeah, which computer was released in 1956, which had the first commercial disk storage? So it was a commercial computer, you had disk storage, and this was in 1956.
It has a cool name.
Yeah.
I want to say it out loud. It's
No,
so
you
cool.
can't, 'cause then you'll give it
I can't.
away.
Nope.
So this was the first commercial computer that had moving head hard drive called magnetic disk
And
storage
this was in your
for second storage.
time travel.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was announced September 13th, 1956. What was the name of the computer? It's not 42. It's not Mechatronics. Let's see. It's not ENAC. Good try, though.
Good try.
Oh. Veggie Vampire, congratulations. In Twitch, IBM 305 Ramac. Ramac is not happy.
Dalek.
So, yeah, so Ramac stood for, where'd it go? I think it was on here. Random Access Method of Accounting and Control.
Okay.
What?
Don't let engineers come up with the names of computers. This is what
Yeah.
happens. Ramac.
Yeah,
They're really pushing the creativity there.
it was,
Fred.
it became a
Fred
commercial
Ambit.
one. It was used for the military for a bit, and then they sold it. And this was September 13th, 1956. Ramac stood for Random Access Method of Accounting and Control.
How many things could it store?
Like 2? No.
5 million.
Where'd it go?
5 million alphanumeric characters.
Yeah.
So 5 million bytes, but each byte was only 7
Yeah.
bits.
IBM touted the system
Sorry, 6 bits.
to be equivalent of storing 64,000 punch cards. Wow.
Yeah.
And then during the 1960 Olympics Winter Games, IBM provided the first electronic data processing for the games. and did punch card data collection and had a central printing facility. Okay.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool. We've come pretty far.
That's pretty cool.
All right, so Veggie Vampire, email support@adafruit.com, and let them know that you got part number
P3251.
Okay. All right, well, that's it for the show this week, folks.
All right, sweet.
That's it. So
Keep it cyber.
keep it cyber. Okay. All right. Well, thanks to everyone out there, our remote team members and our staff here. Here's a photo of everybody here to say thank you to all these kind folks who make this happen every single week. Those are our bosses.
Yep. That's who makes it happen.
Yeah. That's who tells us what to do.
Every day.
Here's Kat. We'll see you next week. Here is your moment of Zener.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.
All right. I'm gonna